Well, hi everyone, and welcome to the virtual Cobalt Cafe. My name is Rick Lupert. Happy to have you all here with me tonight. In addition to our open reading, our featured reader is Jay Saravia. Jay, so happy that you are here with us. Oops, let me mute that so we don't hear two of me. As we all know, one of me is more than enough. Jay, happy that you're here with us. We're going to do a little bit of our open reading, and then we will hear your featured reading, and then we will move on with the rest of the open reading, and then the event will end, and whatever happens after that is not something I can tell you. You're going to have to be the captains of your own destiny at that point. If you would like to read and you haven't already done so, send me a message in the chat and I will be more than happy to add you to the list. As always, it's 2 poems maximum, and our suggested time limit is less is more. Make sure you have the chat room open so that way you can interact with each other, since everyone is muted throughout the event, to keep unnecessary and unintended interruptions at a minimum. And finally, we do have a 1 drink minimum here at the Cobalt Cafe. Make sure that you honor that in whatever way you feel comfortable doing so. And that is everything I need to tell you. Having said all of that, I would like to ask if there are any questions. Martin Parker, yes.
Good evening, Rick. I was just wondered, have you ever invented any words?
Yes, all the time. Often unintentionally, as a matter of fact. I'm just trying to speak actual words, and then other things come out. And sometimes they make sense, sometimes they don't. And we just do the best we can with my limited command of the English language.
Glad to hear somebody else is inventing words beside me. Thank you.
Very good. All right. Well, I love to hear. Love to hear. And of course, there's the famous poem Jabberwocky, which is
Yes.
mostly
Yes,
invented words. As long if
exactly.
we can focus that into a poetry type situation. Good question, Martin. Thank you. Cathabella, I think I saw your hand shoot up. What do you got?
Oh, when do you light candles,
When do
Rick?
I light candles? It's your volume that's causing the echo for some reason. Because I can hear myself in the background when I speak. So, when do I light candles? Often on Friday nights, around sunset, and at the beginning of other traditional occasions, is when I might light candles. That's everything I have to tell you about that. Also, when the electricity goes out. All right, good question, Cathabella. Anyone else with a question before we get going? Okay, well, then we are going to get going. As I mentioned earlier, Christopher Bogart will be up first. On deck will be Linda V.E. Crawford. Please welcome our first reader, Christopher Bogart. Where is Christopher? There you are, Christopher.
Hi, Rick. I'm going to show you one of these poems, and the only reason why I'm going to do that is because last time I was here, I read 2 poems about my father, one in the beginning of my life and the one at the end of his. And I'm going to do the same thing with my mother tonight. So if I can share the screen, not yet. Yep, got it. Thank you. This is called Cosmos. A picture of my mother sitting on the back, excuse me, stoop of the Quonset hut we lived in after my father came back from World War II. And that little thing is me. It's called Cosmos. They used to dance when I walked up the sidewalk toward them, or so it seemed to me. It was my first week at school, kindergarten, and each morning when I approached this garden, with its waving frilly heads of maroon and pink and white, they would fight in their run to the white picket fence that contained the borders of their garden. As they crowded up to the fence, they would scream, "Pick me, pick me." Maybe later, I would reply, walking past them, and temptation. I had to make the bell, and the singing, and the stories, and the snacks, and the nap. Nestled in a big woolen blanket stretched out over the rough plank floor. Their daily supplications finally wore me down, and when I gave my mother her first bouquet of maroon and pink and white, her face pinked with pleasure, measured with maroon distress, as she patiently explained to her child of pure intentions the purpose of a white picket fence. It's the first one. And then the second one, let me get that up so that I can read it. I don't have to share it though. It's not this one. All right, I'm sorry, give me just one more second. Is it? Yeah. This one is called One Catastrophic Stroke. When my mother was 90, she had a stroke. It was a minor stroke. But before they could get to do the, she had a blocked carotid artery. And before they got to do it, she had a catastrophic stroke. And that paralyzed her, half her body, and she couldn't speak anymore. So this is called One Catastrophic Stroke. The house had a strange smell as I entered it for the first time since my mother's catastrophic stroke. That's what the doctors called it, catastrophic. So serious it seemed that when I first heard the word, that it sounded to me like a ship lost at sea, a town swallowed up in an earthquake, a fire that left only blackened wood and floating white ash. The house had a strange smell, not like the smells of the family that once lived in it, not like the smells of roast beef, pan-fried potatoes, onion gravy, not like the smell of Borkum Riff or of laundry soap, just a strange smell of loss. The family treasures, the legacy of a life lived together, now just so much clutter. The detritus left of our lives together, a life now gone forever. My father sleeping peacefully at Holy Cross Cemetery, my mother in Reformed Church home, unable to move, to speak. My sister sitting in the car parked in the front of the house, and me staring around at the clutter of a life lost to age, to infirmity, to death. Just clutter, stillness, and catastrophic silence. Thank you.
You started us off heavy, Christopher, and that's okay. We'll see if it sticks as the evening progresses. Thank you so much for opening up our reading for us. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Round of applause for Christopher Bogart. On deck is Hermione. Please welcome now Linda V.E. Crawford. Hello, Linda.
Hello, good evening. Great to be here. I am looking for my share screen button, which seems to be in a different location tonight. Very annoying. So I will read without sharing screen. This poem, it's an older one of mine, but I had written it during the time of the launch of Perseverance, the rover that landed on Mars back in 2021. But with Artemis going around the far side of the moon, it reminded me I had this poem to do with traditions, knowledge, what we know, what we don't know, etc. So let me read this. What to keep and let go. At 5 years, I heard a wood dove sing and my grandma translate. Ooh, 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 ooh. Moses speaks God's words. That's what my grandmother believed. I soaked up the haunt of her rediffusion, wired relay, Herbert W. Armstrong's radio show, The World Tomorrow. At 16, on a bus ride home from school, steeple bells rang, told my grandma's voice near, reminding me of her 1969 trust pressed strongly onto my youth. No one can go to God's moon, my dear. They've gone to Israel's Mount Zion. Did Grandma smile when my ears released her clang song of bells, or sigh in peace to hear my lips lilt towards or shared birdsong? At 30, I kissed such sounds into the moyo of my husband, a bambo. Did you hear Grandma's guiding life into her children, into us and our sons? In my 40s and 50s, I dreamed. I stayed her close-pinned hand, remembered how it clasped forced tradition, pinched my broadened nose. But I long ago chose what to keep and let go, how to overcome tainted false history and the cross. At 65, I joined old and young in a chair of perseverance, marking the span of immigrant curtilage from Shedroof to Mars. I've discarded Grandma's translations, her wrong words, but I keep her coo and the wood dove's soft yearn song. Poem. Thank you. Just the one.
Lovely, Linda. Really nice mix of sounds and words and memory there, perhaps. Enjoyed that quite a lot. Thank you so much. Round of applause for Linda V.E. Crawford. We're moving Hermione a little bit later. She needed a little bit more time. So we're going to say on deck is Ken Scott. And please welcome now Jeffrey Bryant. Hello, Jeffrey.
Hello, everybody. This is, let's see, what is this? Oh, okay. I'm all set here. I poked my head outside from between my mother's legs and looked both ways for safety before being born. I was alive for mere minutes, and already I was incorrect. I grew up to be what's left on the clothesline that isn't gender screaming in the wind. I had a father who cursed in his sleep, who threatened me between snores, who bolted from a nightmare confessing he never wanted fatherhood. I had a collection of cousins, all first editions, Virginia born and bred, who disappeared in bitter menthol clouds, who looked at me pimpled with fear like I couldn't be trusted with adulthood. I had another Mr. Pibb by the River James, listening to history's edges smoothed over by clear currents. I couldn't open the hymnal of regrets, donning my Sunday best, its pages dripping wet with my back alley blasphemy. I knew then, on the precipice of the age of consent, caught in the myths of that Gothic windswept wilderness, that I'd never survive here, where my father grew up, where my father saw virtue growing wild in two-lane blacktop cracks, where I'd never be able to hear myself over the din of the dead. Second poem is a tanka. I am the other pair of legs encircling you. My name is in your hand. Lust, you spinning wheel. Coffee's smell will unwrap us. Thank you.
Fantastic. Jeffrey, you're the only pair of legs anyone ever needs, as far as I'm concerned. Thank you so much for being here. Round of applause for Jeffrey Bryant. Well done. On Beck. See, I've just made up words, Martin. On deck, Cathabella, Siggy, and Jackie, the collab. Please welcome now Ken Scott. Hello, Ken.
Good evening. Good evening. I've got two standard-sized poems. The first one that I'm going to do is called Quantum Struggle. Just a second. There is a struggle in the collective mind between what the world should be and the evil illusion that currently exists. The illusion resulting from the countless generations the collective mind was skillfully deceived into perpetually blinding itself and sequentially collapsing the wave of infinite possibility, the quantum singularity of the omnipresent now, into the hideous stream of reality that maintains unconditional mortality. Self-entitled superstitions, barbaric imperialism, and the monetization of human life. The illusion that is the mortal enemy of all humanity. We currently stand at the crossroads, becoming fully aware of this quantum struggle between light and darkness, between truth and lies, between good and evil. There is no turning back. And peace. That's the first one. And now the second piece that I'm going to do is along the same lines. This piece is called Nothing Shall Be Restrained from Them. What happens when millions, even billions of human minds, spanning countless generations, are deliberately gaslighted into expecting a violent Armageddon? If the human brain is a quantum computer that can exert entanglement and collapse the wave of infinite possibility into a specific predetermined reality, then what would happen if countless generations of quantum computers with the same subconscious expectations sequentially collapse the wave into a stream of reality flowing toward those expectations? What if Armageddon was never a prophecy? What if there were never any prophecies, but rather the mass programming of subconscious expectations toward an outcome no sane person has ever desired? Nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. And peace. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Ken, I enjoyed your work, as I always do. Nice job. The phrase, actually, though, that really struck me was before you started to read, when you said that these are standard-sized poems. And I started like, what does that mean? Like, is there like a standard that I'm not aware of? And I would like you to publish a guide of poem lengths.
Between small and large, standard, like medium size. There it is.
Medium, okay. Very good. Well, either way, I'm intrigued by the concept, and I appreciate your sensibility there, and I'm glad that you were here. As always, thank you so much for being here, Ken.
Thank you.
Round of applause for Ken Scott. It's a standard-sized Ken Scott, by the way. On deck is our featured reader, Jay Saravia. Please welcome now the collab birthday girl, Jackie Chow, Cathabella Wilson, and Siggy. Hello to all three of you.
Hello, thank you, Rick.
Yeah.
See, I can hear an echo. Is that mic from my phone?
I think, Cathabella, there's something going on with your computer, actually.
Oh,
What do you think it could be?
I think your
Let me look
volume is
at the
loud.
settings.
Got,
I'll turn off this. I had that on, but is it better now?
yes.
we,
Okay. Okay.
Oh, no, we can still hear the
It's
echo.
still an echo? I have no
I
idea.
can't turn off music when I'm going to play.
Well, the thing is, I thought that was the only thing I've changed. Do you see a setting? It makes an echo. Why would
You
it make
want
an
this
echo?
on?
Is it hooked up to something?
Oh, no.
I don't know, Rick.
Maybe if you could, Cathabella, quickly mute and unmute yourself when you're not reading, so that way there won't be an echo.
Yeah, it's so weird. I'm sorry. I have no idea. And Rick is looking at the settings. We can't see what it would be.
Maybe your volume is up high, is what I would think, because it's hearing. But I don't want to spend so much time right now figuring it out.
I know. I understand.
Why don't we come back to you guys while you look into that? And I could only suggest perhaps your volume is up loud, or maybe you need to disconnect and reconnect. So we'll put you up in a couple after the featured reader. So we're going to go, we're going to say our featured reader, Jay Saravia, is up on deck. Let's welcome now Martin Parker. Hello, Martin.
Hello again, Rick. Thank you. Nice to be here as always. Got a poem here of mine that, let's see, what happened to my phone here? Here we go. It's called Words for the World. If I could create whatever I want, I'd make a language with no word for war. It would have words for peace, understanding, and love, cooperation, caring, justice, respect. This language would be able to mold the world into a gentler, more equitable place, incorporating words from around the globe that help us all learn how to share. And then for my second piece, I've got a poem here that I found. It's called World Word, like my world word designs, like my wave in my background. This is by Eamon Grennan, a Irish poet who was influenced by Patrick Kavanagh. What over the gable end and high up under tangled cloud that raven might be saying to its tumble-soaring mate, or what the blackbird might intend when chattering among scattered breadcrumbs, or what the bellowing of one cow, then another in the near field might mean remains beyond my ken, being all noise for which no words will manage, though all is language, settling and unsettling the world beyond me. And yet there's the dunnock in all its dun colors at work among the small stones and patchy grass of the driveway, and here's the robin's aggressive tilt at breadcrumbs, and there goes the sudden shriek of the blackbird, all alive inside the inhuman breath pattern of the wind, trawling every last leaf and blade of grass, and flinging rain like velvet pebbles onto the skylight. Nothing but parables in every bristling inch of the out of sight, unspoken, never to be known, pure, sense startling, untranslatable there of the world as we find it. And thank you very much. I'll put my usual links in the chat if you want to check out my world word designs like my wave and my tiger and anything else. So thank you so much, as always, for your help and support.
Thank you, Martin. Beautiful work tonight. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Round of applause for Martin Parker. On deck after our featured reader we'll try again the collab, Cathabella, Siggy, and Jackie, which leads us now to our featured reader, Jay Saravia. I met Jay here at Cobalt Poets a couple months ago when she came to support another featured reader as well as participate in the open reading. She was enchanted by us, we were enchanted by her, and thus this match was made, and we have her as our featured reader tonight. My memory of your reading that night, Jay, in your presentation was that you put a great deal of thought into what you say and how you say it, keeping in mind who might be listening. It's thoughtful, it's beautiful, and so I'm sure some of that, if not a lot of that, is going to come through when we hear your work. Some tidbits from Jay's bio. Jay Saravia is an award-winning two-spirit ex-icona femme multimedia artist with lineage from around the world. She's the daughter of a single immigrant mother who initially sparked her love of writing and all things whimsical. She writes about and is a student of spirituality, nature, and death. Her first solo poetry collection is called Euthanasia. It came out last year on Daxon Publishing. I'm going to post a link to it later, and she's currently working on her second book, Revenge Words. She has dual Masters of Arts in English and Cultural Studies from Claremont College University, a couple of BAs to boot. She's probably working on several doctorates as we speak. I'm not sure. Jay, really happy that you're with us. Please welcome our featured reader, Jay Saravia.
Tasaka Matlia Mateo. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. It is a pleasure. No PhD just yet, but we'll get there. Thank you to all the beautiful folks who are here for me tonight and everyone. I have a few poems for you, and including one poem from my upcoming collection, and I will also be reading from my book. So I will start off with the soft set that I've put together with Where Love Is. Where love is. Love is somewhere deep in the ocean, and I hope in the next life I'll be able to find it. Gently waving, not held to drabs of concrete. If I am to float, please let me never crash into burning ships reflecting below blue waters. I don't need to know the state of any man. Love is somewhere deep in the ocean, where ruby colors of non-existent corals bring with them reflections of fish whose presence do not disturb me. Marine beings do not need to harm me. Love is somewhere deep in the ocean, because only in the ocean do I feel free to love. Love is somewhere in the gas station that you walk to across the street, in a cooling cup of coffee. In it are the exact amount of sugars that I ask for. Within its contents lies magic. You make it so perfectly. In a liquid that below me swirls and matches the same cocoa shade of your eyes. Love is somewhere in the umbrella you hold high above me under the rough rain when I say I am fine, my handkerchief covering the hair I've styled today. You say you know that I'm fine, but do this anyway. Joke as we make it through the storm. Any storm can be funny with you. We let our laughter mash themselves into thunder and lightning. Love is somewhere in the cold walls that I cannot feel because you refuse to let me shiver, and do so yourself as I hold tight to the inside of your sweater, the sweater that has the same hue of musk that smells like you, the same scent that I have always asked for, the only kind that I can relate back to you, because even in your scent, you are also different. Love is somewhere in these late nights where both of us can barely hang on, but somehow we find the wavelength and the same work to allow ourselves into this world of space and stars where when it's all done, you sit across to look at me, telling me that tonight I did lovely, telling you that you did the same, and you respond, no, it's not the same thing. Love is somewhere in this future that we are making. Above on the roof, we gather our thoughts under the moon. The telescope is brought out again, and you fix it just for me. Tell me about the galaxies, the different formation of stars, and in these moments I know the dust is worth it, that we get under our nails and into our lungs. I thought that love was so far away, and planets I'll never be, but love is here, love is with us, and love is right in front of me. Thank you. I'll be reading a piece from my new collection called Revenge Words. It's a constellation of words I wish I would have said, broken into 3 parts. And this is from a real story that took place with the worst person that I have ever been with. So, on the floor, we cry to Chavela Vargas, but I think we cry for different reasons. You cry for the man you think you cannot be. I cry for the woman that for you I can never be. Recuerdos duros, ampliando abusos de los padres de nosotros to each other. I never want to be an abuser, now be claimed that I was only ever a user. But I could never have used you, not in the way you claimed I would. Chavela chimes on the speaker of my phone, and I also cry for the women like me, loveless in a prison of a room, next to a lover, too barred by self-hate, hands that struck for too long, voice that was raised too loud. And I beg Chavela, tell me, where do I need to go? Thank you. I saw earlier, Linda, you did a poem for your grandmothers and for our matriarchal relations. And I will dedicate this to you tonight since you and I seem to be connected on the same wavelength. May our ancestors guide us, and thank you for your beautiful words, bringing them into the space. This is, Did You Weep for Me, O Grandmothers? Did you weep for me, O grandmothers? Of the tales you could tell when you weren't given the chance to say no. When all you could do was deny, your body always felt like a lie. And at night, all you could do was lie amongst the endless salty tears. How they rang to me at midnight, when I, all alone, contemplated the very purpose of my whole soul, what it meant to be alive and well, never thinking about the basis in life that I deserved. Did you weep for me, O grandmothers? As I pushed my fingers to the back of my throat and let the contents from my stomach fall into the ether, never contemplating my mother's stomach, the stomach that grew me, would flip to watch me break and bend. Did you weep for me, O grandmothers? When the boys at school would assault me with slurs, grown men picked upon my already broken porcelain skin, my father, a false protector, who forced me to live in a psychopathic reality when my life felt that it meant nothing, like I didn't deserve it at all. Did you weep for me, O grandmothers? When you thought of a time when someone in our lives could get out of our person, out of our marriage, out of our sadness, out of our pain. When you were damned to the chains of maternal devotion and had no room to think of anything else. Did you weep for me, O grandmothers, as I died? Over and over I died. And for a moment there I was, there to greet you. But the wounds on my wrists and the pills in my stomach were not strong enough to bring me to you. Thank you. I will be reading several pieces from my book. It is called Euthanasia. It is an autobiographical poetry collection broken up into 3 parts. And along with the poems, there are accompaniments in the forms of playlists. So if you go on Spotify and look up Euthanasia, the playlist, you can listen to the music I was listening to as I grew up, as I was writing. The first song is the song I was actually born to, Into This World. And the last song is the last song I was listening to as I finished writing this book. So I will start us off with alexithymia. Alexithymia, as in the inability to know about one's own emotions, the inability to feel comfortable with the self, and watching the self deteriorate and die and decay and die, and getting too anxious when they don't respond, as in knowing it's not their fault for what others did to you. The inability to feel comfortable with the feelings, and you can't trust the lies that bend into truths, where you just want to be normal, where you just want to be fine, where you just want to be yourself. Thank you. Next piece is in the flower portion of this book, entitled Desolate Roses. Desolate roses in the street fill the earth beneath concrete, and down beneath the earth and concrete are bodies that will never meet. Roses bloom and bushes from dead, morsels that smell sweet overhead. Sunrays blossom and vapors purge when bodies move and flowers emerge. Desolate roses in the street feel the earth beneath concrete, with vines cupped in pricks and petals thick with growing twists of every color and every size. The bodies below do prophesize of bones at brittle brink. Minds grow cold and brains don't think, and death of old age make dead ones come out from their rage. Hands of women held babies past. My, do these babies grow so fast. Death comes in and acts so sly, and then back to sleep do these old ones lie. Arrangements are made, funerals all neat. Crying comes and goes, emotion cycles complete. And after the procession, the mummies awaken. The tombstones here over time grow abandoned. Old embellishments now command them. For desolate roses in the street feel the earth beneath concrete. Thank you. I will do two more for the sake of time. Thank you all again for being here. I appreciate your presence. You could be anywhere, but you are here. This is an honorary poem for a little bit of context. My name is Jessica, and a couple years ago I was in a really bad car accident and almost didn't make it from multiple injuries, including neck fractures, 3 neck fractures. And during the time of recovery, I was put on serious pain medication. And at the end of the recovery period, one of my friends passed away, and her name was also Jessica, who died from a neck injury from a car accident. So it was almost like attending my own funeral. And so I wrote this in honor of her. For Jay, a cemetery ode. It starts in the golden hour when I walk between the cypress and between the streets of the cemetery. Today, the graves are flowered with orange oceans and aftermath from the Day of the Dead. I wonder and wander as I look around, taking the names and dates, faces beneath the ground. When the decorations are taken away, where do they go? There is a connection of manners between all the strangers here. I sit on the benches and witness life before me. Young men yelling about themselves turn quiet when they remember why they are here. There are 4 at first. The volume changes when they remember. Some have to leave. the color orange becomes pain. I briefly visit the grave of a girl that I hardly got to know. She was a friend of some of my friends. There was no orange at her plot. But I wipe away thick grime of dust, and there, I can see her face. My notebook is on the grass above where she lay, but I could not find words for the page. And I listen. The wind comes, and I pray. The boys are still yelling, and in the distance I see more of the dead across the street. I wait for a few cars to pass, and then I am with them. And then I read more about when they were alive. I turn on the cornered path. Then I hear corridos of death behind me, from a señor sitting by an ornate orange space. His truck marks the dates of his loss. Many thoughts pass, but I wonder as I wander, does he have a cemetery playlist? Death and life blend into the same song. Amor eterno, something that connects us all. The boys are there for their friend. Señor there for another boy lost. And I am there for a girl that I hardly got to know. Thank you. I think I'm going to shift my end piece just based on what folks have shared tonight. And I will dedicate this to my grandmother, Becky. It's called I'll Be Your Huckleberry. Every time the scene where Val Kilmer's character dies, you laugh. I didn't understand then, but I know why now. There is something inherently funny about death. A man dies on the screen and the happiness echoes through your belly. We would later laugh around your deathbed, where you would laugh with us one last time, until the tubes entered your body, until you tried to take them off. And my mother telling you to keep it on until it wasn't what you wanted, until she told you it was fine if you wanted to go. The same eyes that looked at me, closed, tighter, harder. Now, I wouldn't catch you laughing when the rain came. Wouldn't sing with you anymore when my uncles made jokes while you were dying. Wouldn't hear you reading to me to soothe the wounds of your sons. I didn't laugh when I realized that you would really die. The TV screens would play I don't know what because I was too focused on you. Crying for you when that same rain came down. Lost God in the chapel when they told us you would not be coming back. It would take me a long while to be able to laugh again. But I don't regret being there to hold your hand. One apartment to the next. Words we heard as you chased comfort from one rundown facility to the next. We shared one final performance about bubblegum on a bedpost. The last time I would hear you laugh. I still miss you, but time has passed. And when I see the same scene, now I can laugh. Repeating some of your favorite words and laughing as the cowboy dies. Remembering how much you wrapped me in your love. Death tore us apart. But I remember that I'll always be your huckleberry. That is my time. Thank you all for listening to Sacomatli and Mateo. I will put my Instagram in the chat, and you're welcome to follow me. The top of every month, I post my schedule. I'm always performing. Thank you all. Thank you. Have a great night. And please, please reach out to me. Thank you. Thank you, Rick. Great show. Thank you.
Jay, thank you. That was really a beautiful set of work delivered with a lot of tangible emotion and memory, and I really appreciated it quite a bit. I thought it was so cool that you adjusted your set, as you went based on the nature of the room and what you heard. That I think goes along with what I said earlier as part of your intro. You're kind of aware of where you are and what people's needs might be, or at least if it's not needs, it's you're responding to where you are, and that's awesome. I think it's really cool that the Euthanasia, the playlist, exists. There's something really interesting about making opportunities for multimedia experiences of your work. It remind in a book that I put out not too long ago. I remember seeing a video at a place that I was of someone singing a particular song, and I wrote a poem about it. And in the book, I put a link to it. And so, there's a really interesting thing that you can do when you expand beyond just putting the words out there. Though, of course, words on their own are lovely, but that's a nice elevation. I love the line, "You could be anywhere," and thanking the audience, the people here. That's cool. One of the beauties of Zoom is that they literally could be anywhere and still here at the same time. But I get what you meant by that. That's cool. And most powerfully, the intro to your second to last poem, where you talked about it was like attending your own funeral. That really hit me a lot, and I think told us all how much of yourself and your experiences are in your own work and written and delivered in a way that allows us to kind of experience and feel them. So well done all around. Let me paste some stuff in the chat, as well as share the screen to show the broadside I made for the poem that you sent. There it is. For the poem Bruise of a Beautiful Shade. You can download this now at the Cobalt Poets website at the link I pasted in the chat. This is how we compensate our featured poets. We make one of these. This is number 705, I believe. Or is it 704? Sorry, 704. You almost made 705, Jay. Sorry. But, this is pretty good. You can download it now at the Cobalt Poets website, link pasted in the chat. Hope you'll consider tipping Jay for her reading, just like if you were at an in-person reading and a hat gets passed around for the featured reader. In this case, we have a number of electronic methods for you to tip Jay. PayPal, Venmo, and Zelle are all right there, so please consider doing that. It's an amazing thing to receive any kind of like actual payment for doing a reading, and then taking that money and going to sustain yourself, buy food or something of that nature. So you've literally sustained yourself with your art. So I hope you'll consider tipping Jay for her reading. And finally, there's another great way to tip a poet is by getting their book. There's a couple links there to Euthanasia, one at Amazon, one at bookshop.org. I'm sure it's up at other places as well, so if you're into that, find it and check it out. So there you go. Jay, thank you again for your reading. It was really wonderful to have you here.
Thank you. Likewise. If you would like a signed copy from me, please reach out to me directly. I will be happy to ship it to you. And I also host several shows. Would love to feature folks, and I'm grateful for this space. Thank you all so much. Jessica Motley, please reach out to me. I can put my Instagram in the chat again, but I think I am also on the roadside, so please check that out. I'm very, very honored by y'all's presence and excited to see what else you're going to bring. So thank you, Jessica Motley. Be safe and take care. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jay. Round of applause for our featured reader, Jay Saravia. Well done. Next week, before we get to the rest of tonight's open reading, our featured reader will be a poet I discovered from Rattle's daily email list. Gray Davidson Carroll will be here. Really interesting writer. I'm sure many of you will like them and resonate with their work. That leads us now to the rest of tonight's open reading. Here's who I have in this order. The collab, going to try you again. Cathabella, Siggy, and Jackie. Teza Zomok, Stephanie Hammer, Jasmine Vallejo Love, Jennifer Elise Wang, S.R. Montevergan. Forgive me if I'm not pronouncing that right. Chris Kondo, Hermione Beard, Steve McAndrew, Heidi Casa, and Monica Salazar. And I'll close out the event. If you would like to be added and you haven't, please send me a message in the chat. I'll be happy to add you. My apologies if you did that and I missed you. As a friendly reminder to everyone, 2 poems maximum. Less is more is the suggested time limit. Tez, you are on deck. Please welcome our next reader, the collab, Siggy, Jackie, and Cathabella, and we are still getting that echo, Cathabella. I think it's you because you were the one who I unmuted first. And then I can hear multiples of me.
Can you hear us, Rick? Can you hear us?
We can hear you, but we can also hear me who's talking double, so I know that's going to happen.
See, we don't hear the echo.
Yes.
And I looked at everything and couldn't see what I could change, and neither could Rick. So I don't know what kind of...
do me a favor, Cathabella. This is going to be a little bit extra work for you, but after you read, will you mute and then unmute yourself when the other people are reading?
Yes.
Keep your finger on the mute button.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so I have it up, and also you'll be losing your flute at the same time. Blowing out the candles.
Blowing out the 4 candles on a cake, the brief hopes of childhood.
What to do? Siggy.
Hello. Let me candle. Family rule. Blow out all in one breath. I'll put Callan. Don't put germs or how many fit on top.
Birthday. Can you hear me? Every time I do anything, Rick, it tells me something about I shouldn't unmute or I should unmute. Anyway, birthday at the beach. Floating candle. The ocean carries it up the stairs. This is Siggy.
Oh, this is mine.
Oh, yes, that's Jackie. I don't know where that.
Oh, no, that's Jackie.
Yeah, okay.
Pistachio shells scattered around the couch where Mom slept. The trauma of growing up in an unkempt home.
Thanking Mom, I showered her with presents on my birthday. Her favorites were blue orchids and 100 pistachios. This is Kazuaki. In her tiny apartment, enjoyed the deformed Jowsey we made together, evaluating by our feeling, concluded it. It's very yummy. Jackie.
Crushing the mooncake inside the bag. Was there something deformed about me?
We can't stomach our deformed government. We march in protest, then lunch at Sichuan street food to improve our mood. Kazuaki in Japan says, unfortunately, I can't be available at our precious Rick's Cobalt because I'm today to attend a meeting of interdisciplinary research on the long-term effects of war. I appreciate that you read aloud the Tonka or Charita or whatever I just wrote so much. Entitle ourselves, and Jackie, if you don't mind, I'll be able to unmute and let you read this.
Okay. Entitle ourselves the worst of human beings. Being so silent, we are all insane to let madmen commit genocide of 9 million, terminate the world. Do we have the right? Or 900 million?
You did great, Jackie. Thank you.
Thank
Sorry
you.
about any echoes. I have no idea.
No, we can't hear. Oh, still, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, who knows? Okay, anyway.
All
There we
right.
go. I
Thank you,
hope
guys.
enough of it came across.
Thank you guys very much. It's definitely something on your end, Cathabella. There's a few suggestions in the chat. Someone said, do you have 2 Zooms open? Someone suggested maybe headphones or earbuds would help. Whatever's happening, basically your microphone is hearing when other people speak, and you're not hearing it because when you speak, Zoom knows to not feed that back to you. So I'm not sure why that's different today than in past days, but regardless, perhaps if you restart the computer and restart it, if you can't find a setting for next time, it'll fix it. But we got it. And so thank you, Rick. Thank you, Cathabella. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Siggy. Thank you, Kazuaki, especially for your nice message. And a round of applause for the collab, everyone. On deck is Stephanie Hammer. Please welcome now Tez Ozomok. Hello, Tez.
Hi there. Can I share a screen? There we go. All right, let's see. All right, so I'm gonna start out with this piece from my Monday Morning Crow. Monday arrives the way county arrives, without apology. Light falls hard on the corrugated roof, turns every rust line into a ledger. Black irrigation pipelines in bundles like shipmen of sleeping serpents, waiting for orders, waiting for pressure, waiting to carry thirst from one sanctioned absence to another. Behind them, the field opens flat and unblinking. A work phase, utility poles holds up their little cross arms like minor saints of voltage and compliance. Even the sky looks processed, clouded over in the thin industrial veils, as if heaven itself had been subcontracted. And then the crow, not perch, not decorative, caught in the middle of authority, wing open like a torn black banner, beak pointed towards some private correction, whole valley joke. It looks less like flight than interruption, as if the bird has paused in mid-command to remind the morning that ownership is a rumor men repeat to one another while birds continue auditing the earth for scraps, shine, and weakness. Monday wants schedules. Crows bring older governance, carrion law, fence post intelligence, the kind of knowledge that survives because it never mistakes paperwork for power. This is Kern County, not just pumps and parcels and field geometry, also the black witness, the scavenger priest, the feather public defender for everything stripped, spent, or left out too long in the sun. It knows the republic of leftovers. It knows that every empire eventually turns into something edible. And this is a haibun, and I'll conclude with 2 haikus. The The wires hum, the crow is already laughing. And also, morning shift starts, black wing cuts the dust light, Monday learns its name. And then I'm gonna share a little bit from the opening. How are we doing on time, Rick? We're good at that one, or?
It's up to you, Tez.
Let me do a couple of pages from Deloria's Tribal Nation. This is chapter 1, The River Before the Building. East. The parking lot holds a thin sheen from the night's rain. The asphalt reflects the facade in softened duplicate, as if the structure rehearses its own presence before the day begins. The sky is low, undecided. The air carries the faint metallic smell that lingers after a brief storm. I arrive before most of the staff. The spaces nearest the entrance remain open. I park in the third row where habit has placed me for years. Engine off, door closed. The building holds its posture. Inside, the lobby lights hum and sequence. Security nods, badge scan, elevator call. The door closed with practiced quiet. The ascent is brief. The third floor corridor carries the faint scent of carpet cleaner and paper. Offices arranged in symmetry. Doors labeled in uniform font. Emergency evacuation maps posted at equal intervals. The signage does not vary in tone or color. Everything is accounted for. My desk faces west, beyond the glass. If the light is clear enough, the river is visible as a darker band between trees. Today, the sky remains low and the distinguish itself sharply. It appears as suggestion more than line. My work as corridor review and flood mitigation compliance, monitoring intervals, permit language, public packets. I keep the bend legible to the institution. The computer boots, email populates in order sequence, flood mitigation schedule confirmed, monitoring intervals logged, public review packet finalized for distribution. Language circulates before voices do, without tolerance, within framework, within scope. The words repeat without friction. A 9 sharp, the conference room fills, packets aligned, screens lit, chairs drawn and close to the table. Martin opens the meeting. We'll begin with the corridor update. Consensus is not declared, it accumulates. And I'll stop there.
Sweet Tez, thank you so much. Nice job at your reading, your featured reading in this space last week. Thanks for coming back. Round of applause for Tez Ozomok. On deck is Jasmine Vallejo. Love, please welcome Stephanie Hammer. Hello, Stephanie.
Hey there, Rick. Hey, everybody. Jay, thank you so much for that beautiful feature. All hail grandmothers. I felt mine. We're right there with you. Everybody, I'm here to actually read a poem by my wonderful, wonderful friend, co-teacher. He was my teacher, the late John Brantingham, who died just this past Sunday. John was a force to be reckoned with in Southern California. He empowered countless writers. He created the Writers' Weekend at Mount Sac, which still goes on, free to the public, offers all kinds of writing courses. He is deeply missed, and this is one of his poems. It's a sonnet. And the title is Talking in Prison About Viktor Frankl, who is, after all, dead. My student talks about Frankl, who he says was wise and good, but who is, after all, dead now. That Frankl's ideas might be a good way to go, but you have to go beyond that always. Our world isn't Frankl's. It is shifting. I think about it a moment, and then, grasping a little, nod slowly to my friend and ask, if not meaning, then what's the thing that we need to get through everything here? And he watches me a moment and says, I don't know. Maybe there's not a word, and I catch sight of the edge of what's there in his mind, and it is beyond me, out of reach, but big as an endless wood. Thank you.
Stephanie, thank you. Thanks for bringing a piece of John's here, a poet who we just lost suddenly and unexpectedly this week, and in the spirit of grandmothers long gone and poets whose work we adore, appreciate you keeping his name and his work in our ears. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Round of applause for Stephanie Hammer. On deck, Jennifer Elise Wang. Please welcome Jasmine Vallejo Love. Hello, Jasmine.
Hi there. Can y'all hear me okay? Seems like I'm having technical to someone else and come back to me.
Okay, I'll move you later on the list, Jasmine, no problem. So we'll say S.R. Montevergen, you are on deck. Please welcome now Jennifer Elise Wang. Hello, Jennifer.
Hey, so last week there was kind of a coffee theme, and it's kind of continuing this week. So I figured I would pull out my flash nonfiction piece, Coffee with Doppelgangers. I only wanted a latte and to support a fellow writer upstairs. That wasn't what I was going to get, not after I met eyes with the barista. A chill ran over me, even though I could feel my face start to heat from the increase in blood being pumped by my heart. Don't look, don't look. Keep your eyes on the menu. Of course I looked again. My body was in fight or flight mode, despite logic pointing out that there was no threat, apart from minor embarrassment for being the most indecisive coffee drinker ever. Logic would also tell me that I was still breathing and able to walk up away, but deer in front of a moving car never move. Those downturned eyes, a striking blue that revealed the fire behind the softness, the slight knowing smile, the facial hair under his lip and chin, a deliberate attempt at unruliness, the tousled yet smooth dark brown hair that curled at the nape of his neck, the sleeve of tattoos he didn't bother to hide. And he knew that appearance. But the motocross rider was definitely not in the coffee house. This was a face from 13 years ago, yet the emotions that came with hitched breath were now. The motocross rider had changed the canon of my life story to where I thought I had moved on, but clearly his presence was always there. I'd see that smile on one person, those eyes on another. The junior who made me look twice when I knew I wouldn't be a blip on the radar of a more popular upperclassman who hung with my frenemy. The snowboarder who was too young, but oh so dear. I had called it an appreciation of talent, but maybe it was something more. I thought I had changed, and maybe I had. I had become wiser and in love with another, but Dante never forgot about Beatrice, and doppelgangers don't stop resembling, evoking, inspiring. The haunted are never fully free. The barista delivered this reminder, and my coffee never tasted more refreshingly bittersweet. And that's all I got tonight.
I love a good coffee poem, Jennifer. Thank you so much. I don't know that I would be alive without coffee, so we all have it to thank. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Round of applause for Jennifer Elise Wang. On deck, Chris Kondo. Please welcome S.R. Montevergen. Hello, S.R.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm going to share my screen. Yeah. I wrote this yesterday, April 6th, 4th. The 4th, 5th, and 6th war is in the ignoring and forgetting. Hallucinate seeing boots on the ground soon all around. War is in the cratered breakfast foods, the darkly lit park, the whatever you want mart, The online cheap, grotesque ads on the page bar ad of subpar goods as you scroll the dead news that make you double see bodies and parts, torn apart, a collection of belted beige. The bodies on tables, sawed in video games. War in the cake and tattoo quotes, the photo memory books, the naked babes and Rambo Ammo magazines at the foot of the Moskva metro, the play dates, play wars, giving birth and time blinks for sons to prepare to get drafted. Sing that war animal song softly, gently, to make the missile land. These third wars in the valleys, hills, waters, and choked neckties, desert kingdoms and empires, the barren-minded, blah, blah, barren. We will write 30 poems in 30, but don't dirty it all with tar pits of war and feather yourself in the rattle of crow. Go forth, forth wars, while I swipe more microdopamine. Lands that cover oil and wheat, the war that simmers and leaps, the wicking candle of insipid entrenchment. Get the last sword word, watch my godly say-so wars. Third story wars, hidden out of sight. The doorman gives us news, a pass-along rage toke from one country to the next, not giving up arms, more robotic swarms, AI scenarios, metal unmanned wings. Contra la otra, we shall smother the other, the winning old-fashioned wars where once were victors. Tally each year after wars 1, 2, lasso all the 19 to 30 million dead, 100-year third war, war going forth. Refuse, diffuse, find your muse.
Thank you, SR. There was a lovely rhythm to your reading and a melody to it, despite the difficulty of the imagery and all of that. Thank you so much for being here. Please come and read some more of us. Welcome to Cobalt Poets. Round of applause for SR Montevergen. On deck, Jasmine Vallejo Love. Please welcome now Chris Kondo. Hello, Chris.
Hello, hello. I'm tidying up my room while I have a week-long break before I get back to work. And I'm coming across a whole bunch of poems. Most of them are written on envelopes and pieces of paper and everything, but this is a historic one I sent in a letter in 1978 from Japan to New York, and it came back typed as a poem for me. So I'll just read it. Okay. Hail Fuji, yesterday evening up on the hill. At first, just the muted burnt sky, but gradually, from right to left, Mount Fuji's form took its place in the evening sky. The mountain in front, which was so clear at first, melted into Mount Fuji, leaving just its serene shape, color of smoke. A small, thin cloud formed just above its crest and stayed there, and a group of tiny clouds to the right lit up, looking like fish swimming in the sky. The towns and cities in the valleys put on their star blanket, and above my head the first star appeared in a thin veil of clouds. 3 cats sat on the far edge of the hill. 3 cats sat on the far edge of the hill. The man who had been cutting wood at the bottom of the hill disappeared. Sky paling, mountains deepening, burnt sky appearing through the branches of winter trees as I walked down the hill. This evening, sky so pale, pink and blue, and mountains too. If you didn't know where to look, and didn't look very carefully, you wouldn't know Mount Fuji was there, so pale. Only there for those with magic eyes, there or not. Just one today, thank you.
Chris, thank you. Lovely images in that piece. Thank you so much for being here and sharing it with us. It's rare we get more than 3 lines from you. So that was nice to hear all that. Thanks so much. Round of applause for Chris Kondo. On deck is Hermione. Please welcome now Jasmine Vallejo Love. Hello, Jasmine. Fingers crossed here.
Fingers crossed. Does that sound clear for you? Great. I love you too, Jess. You did a wonderful job today. All right. So speaking of grandmothers, a friend asked me what memories bring me joy. And one of them was cooking with my grandmothers. And so this is called the ritual of cocinando, which means cooking. We don't have recipes. We have observation. No notes written on index cards or laminated sheets. Nothing physical passed down through generations. I know only to listen for the right sound as plantains hit hot oil. To season by look, taste, scent, letting ancestry embody me as I pour my lifeblood into life-giving meals. Mince the ajo, ajicitos, aceitunas, onion, cilantro, recao, to conjure sofrito, the base of comida puertorriqueña. Roast pernil until it falls off the bones. Simmer arroz con gandules for maximum fluffiness of grain. Dance while I stir habichuelas, singing loudly to Eddie Santiago, Hector Lavoe, El Gran Cambo. In the kitchen, in those moments, we are curanderas, watching our sopitas revive our sick, our cafecitos embolden conversation, our platos solicit joy. The sonrisas, payment for our labor. So that was the first poem. And then the second one, my best friend had a heart attack recently, and she's okay. But I wrote this when she was in the hospital as a way to process my feelings. The dish at Denny's was called Moons Over My Hammy. Your name being Hamara, the moniker stuck. Ham, ham bone, hammy. Grown men lovingly giggle and greet you with big, burly embraces. All my friends adore you. I melt in the softness of your sisterhood, long for your jazzy serenade. The recollection of your loud, effervescent laughter echoes, vibrates my innards. God, I miss you. 2,500 miles of life betwixt us, and your heart is failing, stopped up like a drain, at the mercy of untrusted Floridian doctors who deleted your mother's life 5 months ago. The familia can't lose you too. I'll cling to you like our octopus hugs, stretch my arms across states to hold your hand. Ham, I only know joy because you introduced us, confidence because you hyped me up, love sans pain because you modeled it. I evaluate the world with your eyes and mind and pray with your unwavering faith that your breath lasts beyond tonight, so we can dance again and dream of retiring in Fiji or Bali or Phuket, 2 old ladies on a black sand beach, cackling and singing under the moon. Thanks, y'all.
Super beautiful, Jasmine. Thank you so much for that work. You should go to those places anyway and do those things at every stage of your life and take those memories with you. Thank you so much for being here. Really nice to have you here periodically. Round of applause for Jasmine Vallejo Love. On deck, Steve McAndrew. Please welcome now Hermione. Hello, Hermione. Hermione, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, but I can't.
It looks like you might have muted yourself again. I'm clicking the Ask to Unmute button, so please unmute yourself again. There you go.
And I'm sharing the screen. Can you see it? Yes? Okay. This is a poem from my mother. Not a day goes by. Since you left, not a day goes by that I don't hear your voice, your laugh, or see your smile. My chest still swells and my stomach quickens at the mere thought of your approval and disapproval. Not a day goes by when I don't think this is how mama did it, and I do it that way too. Or this is how mama did it, but I like my way best. Since you left, not a day goes by when I don't wonder, how do I exist without you? This next poem is a letter to the ancestors that I wrote for Black History Month. Honorable ancestors, I hear you speak clearly as if you were here today. Footprints on rocky ground still felt. Impassioned freedom cries still heard, urging me to fight and not falter. Peace bought with your shed blood and tears sustains me. Your strength undergirds me when I am too weary to go on. I won't forget, I won't give up.
Hermione, thank you so much for your work. We're really leaning into poems of memory today, and you were right on target there, Hermione. Thanks so much for being here. Round of applause for Hermione. On deck, Heidi Casa. Please welcome now Steve McAndrew. Hello, Steve.
Hello. Thank you. And I can tell you can hear me. I just want to say I'm really, really happy to be here. I'm grateful. I've worked for many, many years for the International Red Cross, and I just retired. And I've always written poems, but I've never shared anything with anyone until tonight. So, and I have poems about in Spanish. I have poems about abuelas. I have so I feel like I'm at home. So thank you. And I've done tons of public speaking, but I've never shared my poems. So I'm nervous. I'm going to share my screen. I just picked out 2 short ones. If it's okay, I can share my screen, right? All right. Hope you guys can see that. All right. So I just picked out 2 simple ones. Nothing in Spanish yet. Word walk. I painted a poem by dancing the verses, skipping across the rhymes, the uneven steps of word caps defining the path, disappearing behind me as I stepped off. The lines appeared, not before or after, but during, while somersaulting between paragraphs, trusting the natural flowing progress, linking the tumbling blocks of feeling with a trailing thread of voice, delicately designing momentarily snowflakes of thought to never express exactly again. My teacher, the breath, whispered to remember, look around, and feel where I am. A passenger surrendering to the blue magic of an unstoppable torrent flowing out the tip of a small pen, riding the river of sentience, bursting from its eternal spring to a shimmering delta beyond an endless horizon. All right, and I have a couple here. I'm just going to go with this one. That should work. That should come up. I don't know why it doesn't. Okay. Ghost River Outfitters. The beauty fades in the west as darkness slides over the mountains and fills the basin. Long saguaro sentinels awaken the mystery again. Here come the dancing shadows. Here come the myth walkers. Here comes the vibrating dew. Here comes the rising darkness seeping up from beneath the sands. The ghosts gather and form a stealthy procession down through the dry riverbed, caressing all between the banks with their silent torrent. Meandering far to the south, following the rusted river, through the ages and lost tribes, passing the infinite beginnings and endings, breathlessly returning before the dawn.
Steve, that was great. Thank you so much for being here. It's quite a thing that this is your first time sharing poetry out loud with people. Well done. That's a big step to take. I hope it was comfortable for you, and I hope you do it many, 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 many more times.
Thank you.
Please come back. Yeah, please come back and read again. First time reading in the history of his mouth, ladies and gentlemen. Steve McAndrew, thanks for being here, Steve. On deck is Monica Salazar. Please welcome now Heidi Casa. Hello, Heidi.
Hello, Rick. Hello, everybody. Congratulations, Steve. And thank you for your work, Jess, and your cute little dog that you have now. Since you mentioned music, I have a couple tonight that were inspired by some song experiences. So the first one is called Girl Voices. Care Bears on Fire's cover of Everybody Wants to Rule the World is a horse breaking out the gate, lapping others, looping around the track, and is the voice of the announcer, racing the horse's clipped gates, as that chalk filly with a rainbow numna under the shiny saddle runs with the jockey's flared silks flashing. The jostling between the announcer and the horses is like gossiping girls in the schoolyard corner, turning their narrowing eyes and widened gloss mouths to the structures and their cracked foundations, instead of picking lint off pressed dresses. Ani DeFranco's Red Letter Year reprise. A group of stray cats gather at an alley's mouth, some looking on from ledges, a few hanging out windows, their communication aloud or in look to look, freedom and undercurrent, from dregs or the unknown, as they recognize jubilance in what transforms before their eyes. A dancing human whose arm becomes a trumpet, answering the tuba heart as the head floats off as a raised saxophone, and the legs jaunt, jogging over the air, pillowing beneath roving feet. Thank you.
Heidi, thank you so much for being here. Lovely poems. Nice of you to tune in as well and bring things out that fit what was going on here tonight. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Round of applause for Heidi Casa. On deck is me to close out the open reading. Please. Ooh, Monica has left. Oh dear. Okay. I guess I'm up now. I hope I can do it. I've got two poems for you. This first one I wrote for this week's Torah portion. This week's Torah portion is one in which many laws are listed. If you've ever heard of keeping kosher, a lot of the different guidelines that are followed if you're a person who keeps kosher come from this week's text. The name of the portion in Hebrew is Shemini, which means eighth. And it refers to, it was the 8th day after some other things happened. That is when the things that were about to happen. I decided to take 8 of the interesting laws that I found in this week's text and talk about them. This poem is called 8 Laws. 1. Priests must not drink wine or strong drink before entering the tent of meeting. I am not a priest, but I also wait until I enter a place of meeting before I tie one on. 2. Wave a ram's breast in the air in the direction of the one. It's one of the things they're into and will lead them to your favor. 3. If you're going to a funeral, comb your hair. 4. If it has hooves, it doesn't go in your mouth. 5. You may eat 4 kinds of locusts. Locusts may seem exotic and not be pleasing to your tongue, so note, it is not a requirement to eat them, but if you do, make sure your locust selection is from the approved list. 6. Eat your vegetables. Actually, that's not one of them, but I put it in case any kids are watching. 7. You may have to destroy your plates, especially earthenware, if something untoward touches them. This law was not sponsored by the earthenware industry. 8. Above all, be holy. Know right from wrong, lest you burst into flames like the 2 emboldened ones. There you go. That's your Torah study for the week. And hearing all the different poems about loss, I thought I would pull one out as well. This one is for a cat that I had, who I really loved a lot. And if he was here with me, I'm sure he would be sitting on my lap right now, just hanging out. This one is called Filled Up. It's for Tigger. Have you ever been so filled with sadness you literally, no one ever uses the word literally correct, including me, ran out of room for your guts? My cat just died and I'm feeling it. Look, there's my spleen and both intestines on the shelf next to the Brodigan. There's my pancreas and a couple of organs I can't identify thanks to my lackadaisical efforts in high school biology, sitting on top of an anthology of poems written, oddly enough, in the voice of dogs. They say time heals all wounds, and to hell with anyone who would use a cliche like that in a poem, including me. I'm staring at the clock, watching it do what it does, waiting for this sadness to empty out. It's a slow drain. Earlier today, I found some of his dried throw-up in the corner of our bedroom. I didn't have the heart to clean it up. One of the last physical remnants of his presence here. I miss you, Tigger. It's going to be like this for a while. Alrighty. There you go. What a fantastic reading we had tonight. I first and foremost want to thank our featured reader, Jay Saravia, for her stellar, thoughtful reading. A lot of people came who've never been here before just to hear Jay read, so I really appreciate you spreading the word about the reading as well. There's the stuff in the chat that I pasted earlier. Please consider tipping Jay for her reading by one of the methods that are there, PayPal, Venmo, or Zelle. You can download her broadside at the Cobalt Poets website. When you are there, you can click on calendar to see who's coming up next. Next week, as I mentioned earlier, our featured reader will be Gray Davidson Carroll, a poet who I learned about thanks to Rattle Magazine and their daily email. Also on the Cobalt Poets list, especially for you new folks, if you'd like to get on our email list so you get reminders of what's happening here every week, please click on email list on the website and add your email there. And is that everything? Oh, no, that's not everything. Also, check out Jay's book, Euthanasia. A couple of links for you to buy it directly at Amazon or bookshop.org if you would like. And as Jay mentioned earlier, if you contact her directly, you can get a signed copy directly from her that she will ship to you as well, which is a great thing to do. So thanks, Jay, again. Thanks also to all of our open readers and all of the people who just came to listen. Great to have you all here. I've clicked Ask All to unmute. Let's see what happens.
Sure, let's see what happens.
Wow.
Thank you so much. What a great night.
Oh, man. That was a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful evening.
Happy birthday, Ken.
Thank you, Jackie.
Oh, happy birthday to you too, Jackie.
Happy birthday to
Thank
both
you,
of
Rick.
you.
To both of you.
Happy birthday to everyone.
Thank you, Jess.
Thank
Happy
you,
birthday.
everyone. This is very helpful for me in a deep moment of grief. I just lost 3 people in my family and 2 were matriarchs. So this
I'm
is
so sorry.
I'm so sorry,
really
Jess.
important.
This
is really good medicine. Thank you.
My
Thank
heart's
you.
with you.
Oh, sending you hugs.
I mean, I almost collapsed when my mom died in 2014. I'm right there with you. It was my mom.
Look, thankfully it's not my mother, but yes, it was murder, and it was hard to resonate with. But thank you all so much for allowing me to share and bringing in your ancestors and your matriarchs. It's gonna help me move forward. And happy National Poetry Month. Please come.
Absolutely.
Beauty in that work, and please follow me. I put my emails and Instagrams, and thank you for your sweet DMs. I really needed that medicine tonight, so thank you.
You are in the chat archive, and we will find you.
We love you, Jess.
It's okay. I'm an archivist, so I can find it. Hi, Jess. I love you. You know I'm obsessed with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing yourself, Jay. Thank you. We really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Your fur baby is adorable.
Yes.
Thank you. He knows that I'm getting really emotional, so he always jumps up on me when he knows I'm.
Oh.
They're so brilliant, aren't they?
Yeah, they're very
Sweetie pie.
smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, uh-oh, you're getting overstimulated. I don't want you to pass out. So he comes and wakes me up.
Adorable. That's adorable.
Thank you.
Alrighty.
Night, everyone.
On that note,
Thank you, Rick.
Good night.
Thank you, Rick, for the space. Thank you, everyone.
Night.
Thank you, Jay.
Bye from tomorrow.
Ooh.